Like we're live.
Yes.
Yes, we are live on Facebook. That's how we do it.
Yep. Thank you. So, good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is day 6 already, huh? Of our 3 series parts. So, make sure if you haven't watched last weekend's Understanding Trauma to watch those. And if you have missed any of these on Steps on Healing Your Trauma, make sure to watch those also. Especially Friday session, we talked about one of the books of our guest speakers, and we're doing a 22-day challenge on finding self-love and awareness. And so those daily exercises that we'll be doing for 22 days will be highly beneficial. I will be posting little updates on how I'm experiencing the challenge once in a while on our Facebook Healers Roundtable page. And then we will be gathering again for the weekend of Valentine's on it's a 3-day workshop on mastery of love, self-love. So that will be the ending of our 22-day challenge plus the mastery of love session. And so with that, just want to also go over the schedule. At the moment, our guest speaker hasn't logged on. So this schedule might change in case I don't see her soon. We spoke yesterday and we spoke about 8 o'clock. So I don't know, maybe something came up. I did send a message, but I haven't gotten a response. But for meanwhile, we're going to start our welcome. We're going to do a meditation and then an introduction if I see our guest speaker. If not, I will continue speaking. Oh, there she is. There she is. We got her. So we will be doing a small meditation and then I'll be introducing our guest speaker. She will be speaking from 8:15 to 8:45. And then from there, we're going to transition to a conclusion and off of Facebook Live into a private Zoom chat where you could ask questions or you could share your experiences on whatever exercise, if we do any, or ask us of any tools that you could start on. And then, hold on. Again, I'm Rebecca Arce and my husband.
JB Atkins, and we're holistic wellness consultants, also known as the Muscle Whisperers. There's our contact information, and you can reach us at jbr@dualdragons.com, or just go to the website if you want to explore more what we do. And then, of course, our phone number 949-942-1428.
Perfect. So let's take a moment. Make sure everyone, if you're comfy in a chair, make sure you're sitting up. If you're comfy on your bed, go ahead and lay down. Same thing, just relax. We're going to take a moment to do a meditation with a body scan. We're going to do our own body scan. And while we're doing this, what I want you to do is pay attention to where exactly you're feeling any aches or pains. As you're meditating and scanning your body, did you see any visions? Did you get any messages? Jot those down. So what we're going to do again, if you place one hand on your heart and one hand in your tummy, I want you to do belly breathing only. So no chest breathing. So don't raise the hand on your heart. The only hand that should be moving as you breathe is the one on your tummy. And when you inhale, it should expand outwards. When you exhale, your tummy will go back in. So let's take 3 deep breaths. First one, nice deep. Inhale through the tummy. Exhale. On our second deep breath, I want you to do a deep inhale and hold it for 10 seconds. And the last one, just a nice deep inhale with a long exhale. And as you have your eyes closed, I want you to go down to your feet. Feel your feet, move your toes a little bit, wiggle them. Get a sensation of your body now. Tune in to that movement of your toes, whatever sensation you feel in your feet. Do they feel swollen, inflamed? Do they feel good? Just jot down, make mental notes of what you're feeling. From your toes, go up to your ankles. From your ankles, go up to your knees. From your knees, go up to your hip. From your hip, as you scan around it, look for your tailbone and slowly make your way up your spine, almost like if you're climbing up each vertebrae. Get a feeling for each one. How does your spine feel? How does your back feel? From there, just go slowly up. As you get to the rib cage, go out onto each rib cage. Feel that cavity, your body, your trunk. As you continue your way up your spine to the base of the neck, go out through the collarbones now and go to your shoulder joints. From your shoulders, go down to your elbows, down to your wrist, down to your fingertips. Wiggle them a bit. Feel that sensation of this energy scan that you're doing. And now from your fingertips back up to your wrists, back up to your elbows, up to your shoulders, through the collarbone to the base of your neck. And now we're going to go up each of those 7 cervical vertebrae. Slowly climb up them. Feel your neck. As we get to the base of your skull, go outwards towards the front to your jaw, back up your jaw, up to your skull. And now make those mental notes. What did you feel? At what joint or what part of your body did you feel anything? Did you see anything? Did you hear anything? If you experience any pain, go ahead and let your body know. Thank you, body, for making me aware. I will definitely address you with ease and joy. I hear you, and I will be with you soon. And now take 3 deep breaths to come back slowly. 3 deep belly breaths. And as you slowly come back, make sure to keep doing deep breathing. I got a little dizzy right now, so I don't know if it was mine or somebody else's. But if you're feeling dizzy, just take a couple more deep breaths. So now what I want to do is take a moment to introduce our guest speaker. Her name is Erica A. Segura. She's a clinical hypnotherapist, certified trainer of hypnosis and NLP coach, Reiki, MT, therapeutic imagery, quantum touch, Psyche, and sound therapy alchemist. So she does a lot of things to help out find that journey of healing within yourself. And so I want her to just kind of share a little bit on steps on how we can heal trauma. And if there's anything personal that you could share that led you to that journey too, and how you dealt with it, that would be great. If not, maybe things that you've experienced with clients, tools that you said that found their aha to be able to get out of whatever trauma they were experiencing. So anything that you would like to share, we would greatly appreciate it. We've been learning so much from our guest speaker stories. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and exit out of here so we can share the screen with our guest speaker.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Yay. Hi, Rebecca. Hello, everyone. Hi, JP. It is always a great honor to be part of this community. You guys are making this amazing difference in our surrounding communities. It is a great calling for all of us to be here. And every time you ask me, of course, I have to say yes. You guys are dear friends of mine, and I am in deep gratitude that I actually know both of you in person. We have shared beautiful stories, and as well as that exchange of our beautiful energies as well. This invitation was a no-brainer for me when you asked me to come in, and the fact that is the third day today, I feel that we are in this alignment in the community. There is a lot of going on. Always, it never stops, right? Never ending. But right now, we can see with social media, with our connections, even when we're not in social media watching TV, we still feel the collective, and that is all these emotions rushing through the space within us, and we don't understand what is going on. Why am I feeling this way? As you just mentioned earlier, am I picking up something? But we are so quick to judge that maybe it's us, and not to take a moment, sit back, and maybe realize that maybe it's not us. Maybe it's everything as a collective. The fact that we are moving forward 2021, we're making these decisions that 2021 has been a lot of loss, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of decisions, and maybe some of us or some of you are thriving throughout the midst of everything. Yet, as a collective, as the bigger picture, that was not that. There was a lot of fear. There was a lot of insecurity. A lot of that came in through judgment and fear for all of us, and those are traumatic experiences. We might not know that all of those little stressors that are stored in our mind and our processes because we forget even how to breathe in the everyday, right? Then those become part of the stressors accumulated in our body that give life to these little traumas, little shocks. And because we don't know how to either cope, how to deal with them, we don't have the necessary resources within us, so we think, then we tend to just live life dragging those emotions because we don't really reflect on that. We don't have during our dream states. Sometimes we don't have the capacity to actually let go and release those all emotions. And I know this topic started 2 days ago, and we had these beautiful speakers talking about trauma. We also want to emphasize that the word trauma, the birth of it, actually stemmed in the late 19th centuries, trying to figure out how to deal with psychosis, right? And everything that we see right now is part of what was happening then that's still happening now. And the good thing about this is that we have dedicated minds. We have a brilliant and committed people that are working through the mind process. How do we become better humans? How do we evolve? Well, the one thing is that there is not one pill for trauma. There's not one solution for trauma. There's not one therapy for trauma. Because as Rebecca mentioned earlier, um, we're all different. Some of us were a little more sensitive than others. Sometimes we have more resources than others. Also, our age, right? There is the internal environment, the external environment. All of that takes effect when we have a shocking event. And how do we move through that? How do we process through that? In my practice, my one-on-one practice, it is fascinating for me to observe and to know and really take a look at what happens through people's lives. My most recent my most recent case was with with a young woman who has all these kinds of fears. I started asking her some questions, and she forgot that there was a little bit of trauma back when she was 7 years old. And she had blocked, she had coped, and she had already made up her mind that that was a way of life for her. Yet, we all know that when things are happening, we always have to refer people back to have go seen by a doctor to make sure that there's nothing physiological actually happening. Otherwise, we are servicing our clients. Yeah, so she had her little MRI, she had everything, but she had forgotten that she had a car accident when she was 7 years old. And just through a few questions, she remembers, like, you know what? I just remember when I started getting my headaches. Is the fact that her headaches started increasing in our days because now we're in the lockdown and her whole life has shifted. So her old ways of coping are not how they are now, and those headaches are surfacing, and they're so painful. So throughout so many exercises and exploring her situation a little bit, not too much, just a little bit enough for me to have enough information for me to formulate something so that way she could actually, instead of coping, and do a release and make sure that she doesn't go back to the old, and release some of her old belief stories, all her systems, in order for her to actually expand and become better in her everyday doings. Um, and we came to, or she came to the conclusion that she could actually live without pain. And it was so uncomfortable. She even said that's like, you know what? I don't think I have had a whole hour without pain. I don't remember feeling this, and it is so uncomfortable that I don't know what to do. That's right. We are so accustomed to think that we have to do something, right? When we're not feeling. But in reality, we are feeling. It's just a different state of being. That's all. And so just walking people through the journey, through those type of journey, and letting people know that it's okay to feel in order for us to heal. It is okay for us to feel and become aware, just scanning the body. Where is the pain? Maybe we don't have to recollect those painful memories, but just having in mind the knowing that the reason why we store memories is because it is a point of reference for us to evolve from that, and for our body not to go through that again. And there's a spectrum of traumas. Some of us have gone to deep traumas with a physical body, some deep traumas with our emotional and psychological senses. Yet is the sensitivity in the resources that we have in order for us to either cope, forget, recover, or resolve. And the main thing for us as human beings is to resolve those patterns in order for us to become the best that we can be. And just knowing that those are points of references, and we can always go back to that imprint or the blueprint and see where we need to still not become the judge of that, but what is it that will help us live through that to be resolved, right? And one of the things that I wanted to share is, in my practice, some people want to hold on to trauma because that's a form of expression. That's how they have coped. Some people are poets, writers, painters. Some people, they feel that that's the drive to keep on expressing themselves. Yet it is a beautiful way, but it is not to live there, because when we live, we do a disservice to our body and our mind. It is a great way to have a beautiful creation, but what do we learn? And how do we actually resolve that in order for us to have a better expression, a more heightened, a more lifting and journey, rather than being stuck in that space? Well, it's through the process of education and through a process of experiencing, and the process of feeling something different in order for us to get away from that. It's, for some of us, those are huge drivers, and that also, as we are forming ourselves, that also is part of our value system. And those value systems, we already know that, oh my gosh, we start deciding what we like and what we don't like since we're in the womb, since we're conceived. because we start feeling, we start forming our systems, and then we prepare to go out in the world. And how do we develop ourselves? And that's the part of us that is the unconscious, the unknowns, right? However, just exploring, I invite everyone to explore and get to know themselves, so that way we know our triggers, we know our pains and aches. Why are they about? Are they passing, or are they home to somewhere in our body? And if they're home, then maybe we have to really take a look. Why are they living there? And maybe it's not really the why, but do we like being in that space? Do we like that feeling? How would it be not be there, or not having that? Can we can that become something better for us? Can we give more to others not having that? So those little things are part of our own explorations. And as trauma, the knowns, there are a lot of things that we recall throughout our lives, and there are things that we don't recall if they're still existing. And as this beautiful exercise that Rebecca did this morning, just every morning, even with the breath, we don't have to go into that conscious state of meditation, because you know what? Contemplation is meditation. Observation is meditation. Breathing is part of meditation. It takes us into that stillness state. Just recognizing that, and just breathing through the body, breathing through the body, breathing through the body, because that is also what disrupts the old stressors. Maybe a little bit at a time, but it's part of our journey every day, every day, every day. So that way we don't have the blueprint go back to the old, then resolve, and be stuck into that space. As far as why am I in this journey? Because as many of us, I also have those traumatic experiences, and I am lucky enough, I think, in my life that I and knock on wood, I haven't gone through a major physical trauma, not discarding the mental trauma, but as a child, I was abandoned by I felt I wasn't abandoned, but I felt in my mind that I was abandoned, and that caused emotional trauma. I lost my father when I was really young, and that was also emotional. That became physical trauma as well. And as an adult, I went through a series of economical traumas, and also little accidents that happen here and there, and grand theft. That was also something that caused PTSD, but that was all already the cause and effect of all the little factors that had happened in my life. That when I had these big shocks coming at me, that caused me to go into that deeper state um, of the old emotions, the dark emotions. And through what I do is how I broke through those emotions, how I am functioning, and I am um, I am so grateful that I can easily identify certain things in my life where I don't have to fall back into that. I recognize it, I know it, I feel it, and I say, you know what? No, I'm not going to go there. What can I do in order for me to become better than that? And it just recognizes those are points of references for me to know and for me to evolve. And self-hypnosis is a blessing for me. The breath work is amazing to do a release in meditation. And as you guys already know, sound is it is just, I don't know, a beautiful for me. Music. What type of music can help you through the journey? That's part of sound. Recognizing those frequencies and allowing the body to go into that flow and just walking ourselves into that. Now, some of us have done the work, but some of us who are beginning the journey, I highly recommend to have a professional, someone that is going to help, someone that is going to be your partner in the journey. And there are many professionals. You just have to see how is it that you want to evolve and who is in alignment with your values and who's going to help you walk the process, because it can be really challenging, difficult, or it can be quick. It just depends on how we sort out that information within us. Yeah.
Thank you, Erica, for sharing. It has been an amazing experience when we got a chance to exchange that energy or share both of our gifts some time ago. And like the testing to what she shared, sometimes it's just a single session, which then she introduced us to a few other healers to consider sharing that energy. And we mentioned before about building your tribe, tapping into your resources within so that you could do the work within yourself to heal. And it, again, for the longest time, I get these tools and I try to apply it for myself. But the evolution was very sluggish or very minimal until I brought in others' energy, someone that's already done the work and was able to hold that vibration. So you let me know how am I supposed to raise my vibration or allow myself to heal to kind of match that so I can continue growing, continue evolving and healing within. And especially talking about music, I used to hold on to music I grew up with, but now I listen to the words as much as I was trying to hold on to that. The lyrics were not really healthy for my mental, emotional state, which I could see or reflect within me physically. So sometimes you evolve your music taste where you have to let go of the punk band or the rock or whatever it is that you held on to, because sometimes the lyrics is not serving you to allow you to expand your heart, to open your mind, to really feel the vibration or energy for you to really do that self work. So can you kind of elaborate maybe some of that, how you evolved with music or how, because you brought that up and I really connected to that.
Yeah, thank you, JB. You know what happens is because we connect where we are, and that's why some of those lyrics, some of that we're attracted to that, because those are the feelings that we're feeling. And we relate. However, as I said earlier, it is good to be in that, just having a little bit of an expression, yeah, having that release. However, just recognizing that we can be stuck in there, because those type of lyrics, that type of music holds us back and gets us back into those memories, into those traumas. Just we're marinating so much into that realm, right? That we manifest. We we manifest everything, but we attract more of that, more people that are suffering those traumas, or something similar to that, right? And it is good to have our little tribes, yet to having the recognition of that, it's not so good to be there for so long, because then it will manifest into the physical body. A lot of people, I used to love heavy metal, thrash metal, and all of that, and it is very attractive. right? Especially when we're teenagers, or maybe our parents grew up with that. Yet, as you just say, you start recognizing, like, wait a minute here. Uh, Words have power. Music is powerful. Is that where I really want? Is that how I really want to feel all the time, or can we have a better way, right? And just becoming accustomed to a different vibration. Maybe my journey is when I discovered a more relaxing type of music, right? Like the classical music, and all. So I was like, oh, what is this? Wait a minute, this also feels good, right? I love music. I have most of my friends are musicians, and I can relate. I don't feel that I have the talent to sing. However, I am able to pick up a lot of beautiful music. I know Rebecca is also a pianist and a teacher. And I think just a higher vibration is what lifts everyone right away. And it could be the contrary as well.
And then if you could just elaborate, because there was one thing that right now, what you were talking about, why is it so easy for many of us to stay in that place? And why does it feel so comfortable sometimes? Because when we try to get out of it, it feels uncomfortable. So how does it get so comfortable? Is it, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's because we don't have any immediate way to resolve that. So our brain has to go into places to cope with it. And sometimes when we don't have either the resources, meaning the mental resources, or the environmental resources, or anything that gets us out away from it, we start searching for things to just go and not do something about it because we don't know. We are unconscious about it. So we go into something that is soothing, right? Or maybe for it, some people's like, we can't talk about it. Or how do we tell anybody? Is this right or wrong? Oh my gosh, people shame people. People think that, oh, we are judged. We think that we're always judged, so we'd rather not say. We'd rather not express. So we find ways to hide our traumas. We hide ways to let everyone know that we're okay. So living in that and finding ways to cope, to just cope and not express and not resolve. And that's why we stay sometimes so long in that space. Not until we find it's like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that I was hiding my trauma because of shame, because of fear, because of maybe the family systems, maybe the school systems, our friends. So all these factors, right? And some of us we are so sensitive. It's like, oh, we want to make sure that everything's just right. We don't want to bother anybody. So we rather just, not have the expression, hold it back, and then eventually we just put it right in the back, right in the back. And we hold on to that belief system. And sometimes we go through our entire lifetime without resolving big traumas. And sometimes our lives is not that long because we start manifesting in different ways in our bodies and in our mind. We sometimes even in our lives a little early because we never found a better way to release those stressors, release the traumas from our lives and the systems, all those stressors. It's like we always so tense, right? In my observation, in my readings.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I was just curious about that because it feels when I'm dealing with clients that sometimes it's just so comfortable to stay there that they don't want the fear of the unknown is the best way to put it, where it's just easier to stay there than have to try to get out and not know how that's going to feel, or if it's, if the feelings are too overwhelming, or is it too much for them to, like you said, not to be able to figure out how to cope with this new place that they're going to, evolving to.
And
Mhm.
also, there is what we call a secondary gain.
Mm,
Maybe the reason why some of us, we say it happens to everybody. We
mm,
all go through this because there's something that we're getting from it. It could be attention or not attention, or maybe there's too much attention. So we decide to go into this state of mind instead of being not to get that, or the opposite of that. Or maybe it could be financial, or maybe it could be you name it. There's an array of things that we start coping because unconsciously we're getting something out of it. It's fascinating, huh?
I know the things that our mind and body are capable of doing, I've seen it. I've seen how by changing that mindset or perception, it changes your whole body.
Yeah. And one of the things besides music being one of the quickest things that we can do, breath, music, and movement.
Mm,
We need to move. If we don't move, we store because everything becomes so stagnant.
yeah.
We need to find that's why exercise is so important in our lives. And we dismiss that. I mean, we have all the capabilities and everything, right? But we don't do. And it could be anything. It could be dancing. It could be walking. It could be any form that is allowing us for us to move. Movement can cause some major shifts
Mhm.
from the unconscious mind into just becoming a whole different, having that mindset, being in a different place in life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, one final question before we start wrapping up, Erica. What is like one of your more recent tools for self? Someone that maybe they catch themselves, awareness obviously being a tool, they catch themselves, but like when you catch yourself, maybe almost spiraling out into a not so happy emotion or mindset, how do you catch yourself and what do you use to kind of get yourself back to kind of recenter or
Okay, because you guys know me personally, and I have that happy go happy, right, person. Um, when when I catch myself not feeling myself, and then I literally, because I'm a super physical too, I literally have to step back, like meaning I step back and I look down and I begin to scan my body. What am I doing? What is different? What is not happening that I would like to happen? And then I just by observation, if I'm doing my dishes, if I'm playing it, yeah, when I'm out and about, right? Whatever I'm doing, I am always in that meditative step, but I have already anchored myself in to do that. I step myself back physically. I take a step back. I look in front of me, and I become the observer. And that's my anchor to get myself into where I need to be. And I have to do the work because I need to show up for my clients. I need to do the work in order for me to help people into their journeys. I won't be able to understand if I don't do the work. And that's one of the things that I always tell everybody: do the work, do the work, do the work. So that way you are more prepared for you and you can show up better for others. For the kids, right now, oh my gosh, it's so many. I mean, we have gone through so many changes, life altering changes, and those are traumas. Those are traumas. I've been seeing a lot of teachers, a lot of mothers, because they don't know how to, they're figuring out ways to cope with it, everything that is going on, the pandemic, the new systems, having the kids at home, having their own work, or maybe not having it. So it's just having a system, recognizing it, anchor it somewhere in, maybe somewhere in the body, so that way you remember to remember. But even by having like something in front of you all the time, or a anchoring, it's like I'm not feeling good. What is it that I need to do?
And when she's referring to anchor, for those who don't understand, anchor is just kind of, there's many people have different forms. It could be a song, it could be a rock, it could be like a pressure point on yourself. It's just like every time you think of a certain emotion or a behavior, you want to, what they call anchoring it. So that kind of snaps you into, when you tap it, back to that memory. Can you elaborate more on that, on the sense of anchoring?
Yeah, and anchoring, it could also be something that you see. So what happens is that you go from a state of mind that is disempowering to figure out a state of mind that you would like to have instead of that old. And once you figure what state of mind, it could be something from not feeling emotionally so good, yet the replacement would be motivating. What driver could take you out of there? Something that is moving, right? So then you figure that in your state of mind when you are doing that consciously, and then either allow to tap somewhere in your body, or maybe if you're in an office, have something physical that you can touch or see. And then when you see that thing, you relate that to something that is positive, something that that state of mind where you would like to be. So let's just say you're getting frustrated, you're feeling a little uneasy, but then you want to not to feel that. Like, I'm going to go to my happy place. I'm going to go to that anchor that is going to drive into feeling happy, motivated, or whatever that might be. So you anchor that, and every time you are feeling that positive feeling, you look at it or you feel it. So that way you put more emotion to it. And whenever you're feeling down, you just go into that little happy place, or that whatever you see, wherever you want to put it in your body. So that way you can snap out of the old feeling into the feeling that you would like to feel.
Perfect.
And I think that's an amazing tool.
I know. It is.
I,
So pretty much it's the same thing what you've been saying, and we've been saying it too, like just the steps. We talk about awareness. You become aware. Okay, break it down. Why am I feeling this way? What's going on? Why am I coming to this place? Become aware. But like she said, don't stay there. Break it down. Okay, how can I deal with this? What am I gonna do first to start finding a way of coping? And then interviewing it. Okay, like she said, sometimes we have a secondary effect of we get a benefit out of staying there, but interview it. Is it really worth my time and energy to stay here? How is this really serving me? Am I really getting something out of it? Interview it, ask it, and get a breakthrough. When you ask over and over those questions to yourself to get you aware and out of there to find that breakthrough, it's really good to ask those questions.
And we go from the cause and effect.
Mm-hmm.
Because of this is what's happening. And you just mentioned that because of this, I'm getting this. Because of this is happening, right? But now, like you just mentioned, is that going to be effective in the long term?
Yes.
And what is the long term, right? So we have to, just be specific on our feelings, our emotions, and what is it within us that we can do to let go or to release in order for us to resolve. And always keeping in mind that whatever happened in our life, there are points of reference for the body to survive. We're here, we feel, we sense, we live through. So now, what is it that I can do, knowing that, for that not to happen again in the future?
Mm-hmm.
So JB said something super powerful. So having maybe people, or maybe professionals, or maybe just the community. This is why right now what you guys are doing is so powerful, because you guys are inviting a lot of us, what we call ourselves healers, but in reality we all have that little power, right? And the human mind, the human body is so powerful. We forget.
Mm-hmm.
We forget the how. But it's okay. That's why we have a little try to help us remember that we are powerful.
Yes. And that leads us to forgiveness. And it's forgiveness not unto others, but yourself. That's the biggest awakening you could have, when you're able to have that ability to forgive yourself for holding on or staying in that space, or doing, because we're our worst critiques sometimes, being so judgmental onto ourselves, or criticizing our decisions. Or, I've had a client once, she said, I remember her trying to get out of a domestic violence situation. And she said to me, "What if I make the wrong mistake again?" And I said, "Well, you did it again, but then you get up and you figure out a way." Because we are going to make mistakes. And that's what I told her. We all make mistakes, but it's learning from them and moving on where we get our power from. So it's up to you to make that choice, if you want to stay in this vulnerable state where you're being hurt, or you want to do something about it and live a different life. And that's what she says, about looking ahead, like the long term. What do I really want for myself? And forgiving yourself for not letting yourself get there. So it's important to forgive yourself, to have that awakening, for then you to be able to integrate it within you, of finding that self-love towards yourself. And like I've said before, this is ongoing. It's forever. Just like your education. We never stop learning. We never stop finding self-love for ourselves, because we experience different things throughout our life. At certain ages, we will start experiencing different things. We have our childhood and then our puberty, and those are big changes there. And how do we integrate finding self-love with all these changes happening in our body? And then from there, high school, and then college, or if you're finding a job, and then marriage, and then children, and then retirement in the empty nest. The children move on, and now you're on your own. And so all of those experiences, they start building up. And how do you continuously find that self-love for yourself, no matter what happens throughout your life?
Yeah. And you said a very powerful word, and that word is mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Mistake, meaning we gave judgment to that.
Mm-hmm.
A more empowering word would be, was it a mistake? Or was it, again, we do things through life with the best intention that we can possibly have, right? We'll never move forward in life with a bad intention. It's always come to from a positive space. And the mistake would be is thinking that we did something wrong, where that was our best ability at that point in time. So just letting the client know that was it really a mistake? Or do you think that was coming from a positive space and those were the resources that you had at that point in time
Mhm.
that maybe led us to judge it as a mistake? But really, that was the ability that we had at that point in time. And that goes for our kids too. Like we tend to blame, and point out the mistakes, right? But we really think it's like that's their ability. We can't help people just express from that point of view
Mhm.
rather than blame and shame and say that's a mistake. It's a misconception, right? From us, not them. Is the labeling of that, and it's a powerful word, and it gets stapled in our blueprints and our point of reference. But yeah, I think it would be a more powerful way to just think. Do you really think it was a mistake, misjudgment, or were you at a point or time and in time where that was the ability you had and the resources that you had within your brain, within your mind, and your capabilities that led to that? And people will be like, "Whoa, that's right. Maybe it wasn't a mistake. Maybe I'm misjudging. I'm mislabeling."
Mhm.
See, and then people start releasing those energies from it. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe I'm not making all these mistakes. Maybe I'm just, those are ways of coping for me. But I know I can grow from that because that's what I had at that point in time. And now I know better. Now I have more. Now I'm capable of pulling through with my better self. It's just reframing those little things that we think that we had, but we don't.
Yes, thank you. So again, I just want to put these numbers up. If anyone is in need for immediate help, don't hesitate to take these numbers down. If not, if it's not something urgent and it's something one of us said that resonated and you feel like, oh, I could use more of this kind of consultation or this kind of work, you could always reach out to us. All our information is on our Facebook page. The pictures of, and also on the meetup, if you go to the event, I always post a picture of all our guest speaker with their information there. So then that way there's a way for you to be able to reach out and get whatever service that you feel is beneficial and might want to try to start your journey out of trauma. Okay, so let me go ahead and stop sharing and go ahead, my love, to close it up.
All right, thank you everyone that joined us live on here on Zoom as well on Facebook Live. We're gonna stop the sharing as well as the recording so we have a private session. In the comments below, there should be the link for the Zoom if you want to join for our conversation that we hold privately, not recorded, just to kind of share what we got or have any questions. All right, remember to stay healthy and breathe intentionally. Thank you.
No,